You're on me. Okay, there you go.
Okay. Troopers and grinders, welcome to Universal Studios' most thrilling creature feature yet. They're alive! They're alive! The great grandson of Frankenstein's monster, Marcin Tybura. Ooh! And that bald zombie from Scooby-Doo, Sergei Spivac, battling it out for the fate of humanity. Or at the very least, a spot on the early prelims of a pay-per-view next year. Who will survive? Certainly not anyone watching this, but by God's grace, I, Hank the Tank, will find a way, and so will the man to my left, the Idaho Skatesman. So, pal of mine, how are we getting our money back for this box office flop?
We're not. This week is not going to be good. The card suck. There's nothing else going on, so this is what it is. UFC Vegas picks. Here we go.
Yes, sir. But first, not only do we have to look at the comments because we care about our loyal CTE-ridden troopers and grinders in the Skate Tank MMA army, but also we got to go through my locks for the weekend. Because if you can believe it, there are actually shows outside of the UFC and MMA. Skate's bright as hell. Well, maybe not intellectually, but in terms of the light that bounces off his face, yes, he is very bright. But we get to my first lock. If you can believe it, there is actually Invicta going on Friday. And you might be saying, Invicta? I hardly know her. But no, it is a promotion. And my first lock that I have for the weekend goes to good old Giuliani, and not Rudy Giuliani. Giuliani Perea. You see, she's been a finishing machine in the independent scene and the amateur career before she's even getting the professional level. She is beating the shit out of 0 and 2 people. I know, very impressive. And she has no zeros on her, no L's on her record, whereas Alied Zubieta has all the L's on her record and won her last fight through a miraculous flying armbar. But I have a feeling she's not going to get that Demetrius Johnson armbar this time around. And Perea is just going to take her down, as Zubieta almost always seems to be, and just ground and pound it out. No diddy, you know? So this should be a dominant affair from Perea. That's my opinion. And also, that show exists, in case you didn't know. My God.
And by the way, what's up, Sean? Good to see you. And Paradox says it's 4:30 a.m. Well, what the fuck are you doing listening to this? Go to sleep.
We also have the man, Sven Svensson.
Svensson said he's never seen an Invicta card. Might check it out. Don't.
Neither have I, and yet somehow I'm giving you a lock. Promotion. I'm a very trustworthy guy. Old Hank.
What is up, Angie? Nice picture you got there.
Wow, that's a person who's here in the chat. I can't believe it. Next, Paradox knows her, so they have a very close relationship.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, you scoundrel, you. Well, let's hope it doesn't get into the paparazzi papers this time around. You hear me? Next, we got my locks for the boxing card that's happening with good old Dazen. Would you like to go through the entire card, Skatesman, or would you like to just see my lock? Okay, we're going to my lock, damn it. Here we go. We got good old Charles Bad News Conwell. Bad News Brown is better, but it's a decent nickname. Against Chiari Gray. I have no idea if I butchered that name or not. He's King Too Sharp. Well, unfortunately, he hasn't looked very sharp in his last couple of fights because he's been getting beaten by every single person down the block. And his last win was against a complete can who had like 4 wins on his record. Meanwhile, Charles Conwell has actually had some tough fights as of late where he's looked really good on the feet. You hear me? And he's got great technique, really good speed, and he's a rising contender. And I picked him before as a lock on boxing, and I'm doing it again because I believe in Charles Conwell. The man can get it done. I really do like just seeing him fight. So you know what? I'm going to do my stand lock for the weekend. That's me.
And Paradox says Angie is a hardcore MMA champ ever. Well, nice. Glad to see y'all here and making the walk says Skate, Hank the Tank. How are you gentlemen doing? We're doing fantastic. Good to see you in here, man.
I didn't know I was a gentleman. Thank you, making the walk. And it's very fitting that Angie is inside the stream of the 2 most hardcore MMA fans you'll ever see, even more than Isha Helwani.
Nah, I don't think anyone's more of a hardcore than Isha.
Yeah, I know. And Skatesman does 0 research, but he's very hardcore, let me tell you.
Okay, I do 0 research. Got it.
He knows glory. Anyway, we go past our locks. Skatesman, do you want to just bring up some MMA news, or do you want to get to the UFC Fight Night card? Just get it the hell out of the way.
What news do you have?
I
mean, who fucking cares? Let's get into the locks, bro. Let's get into the picks. That's what the stream's for. Let's make these picks, man.
Okay. Well, I'd start messaging old Big Red since he has his own opinions on the matter. Yes, the very elusive Big Red. He's finally come out of his man cave. He's finally gotten the hell out of DC. And by that, I mean Daniel Cormier, not the place. And he's got a lot of interesting opinions regarding what's going to happen on this card. He did more research than me. Just ask him. So let's get to the card, and then at some point, maybe the big scary ginger himself will enter the chat. But who knows? In the meantime, I'm gonna pull up our UFC predictions, because this is a very professional MMA channel and not just scrambling for airtime at all. Give me 1 second here, folks. By the way, Skatesman, do you want to pull up your picks as well? Are we going back and forth, or are we just
Let's just bring up the card, because I can't pull my picks up right now because I'm traveling.
All right. Give me 1 second.
He was inside DC. I don't know what you're talking about, but
yeah,
I think that you might be referring to John Jones.
At one point, yes. No Jones.
What's up, Rafuko? Good to see you in here, man.
Hey, let's have a little chat with the chat before we get into this thing. How about it?
Good to hear it. This is a good way to fill your cleaning time.
Yeah, with my noise just in your ears, man, at like the highest velocity. It's very relaxing. I should do ASMR someday. Anyway, we got our first fight for the night. Stephanie Luciano, that was a fighter, versus Talita Alankar. That is also a fighter, if you didn't know that, Skatesman. Incredible.
So this first matchup, for some reason, though they had a draw on the Contender Series, Luciano was signed and Talita Alankar was not. Funny enough, Talita Alankar was first to make her UFC debut despite getting a contract on Contender Series, because I guess that's how Contender Series works these days.
It doesn't.
Regardless, Talita Alankar in their first match won the first 2 rounds. And then Luciano kind of came back in that third and got a 10-8 on every judge's card. So that's why Dana White signed her. She's also the younger fighter. I think that I'm fairly confident that Stephanie will get the win here by decision. That's going to be my official pick.
Interesting. Nice. Well, I got Talita Alankar by decision, funny enough. Here's my explanation. Talita Alankar was getting the better of Stephanie Luciano in the grappling during the first round of both women's Contender Series debut, dominating on the ground and ragdolling her opponent to the point of nearly getting a sub. In the last 2 rounds of their fight, however, Alankar began to gas, and Luciano took advantage of her condition by getting the best of her on the feet for arguably round 2 and/or round 3, with their fight ending in a draw. What I think gives Alankar the full advantage in their rematch, however, is that she's fought since getting a contract from the UFC. Due to her and Luciano putting on a great fight, while Stephanie unfortunately hasn't, for some reason, maybe Skatesman knows. Maybe he's an insider with JL. She won a decision against Ryan Amanda, who proved to be a tough test for Indian phenomenon Pooja Tomar, already better than Anchar Jubilee, the chosen one. While Luciano's been on the bench for almost a year now, I feel like Alankar will have less ring rust, more experience at the highest level, and with greater preparation and training, be able to keep up the pressure and striking against Luciano and get at the very least a split decision win with 2 out of the 3 rounds won. Beware, Stephanie, because if you haven't been training as often,
and Talita Alankar, she's also like a multiple-time world champion Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu player.
Yes.
You mentioned Jubilee. Do you know what time his fight is? Do you know when he's fighting? Do you know when is he fighting?
I don't even know what event.
Sean says, Skate, did you see Matt Brown on the Jackson podcast? No. PFL post-limbs are better than this. Gotcha. Thank you for joining, Dane. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, and did a really good job.
Me and Dane are going to one in Denver in September. If you're not a casual, I suggest you come along too. Oh, no. Hank won't come because he is definitely a casual.
I'm a casual.
All right, next fight.
Disgusting, man. Well, we got Jarno Aarons against Yusuf Salal, a fight I am actually very excited for because I've seen the fights of these two guys, and I'm looking forward to see how their styles clash. But what do you think about this fight, Skatesman?
Are you able to like? Could you like preview the weight class and their records? That'd be helpful. But we'll do it for the next fight. So Jarno Aarons, basically just a striker. I would come. Can't get a visa. Good to see you in here, though, Kiwi, my friend. And you know what, man? I'll be coming to Sydney. I don't know if you're around that area, but next year. So maybe we can link up. So Jarno Aarons is more of a striker, relatively new to the UFC in comparison to one Yusuf Salal. Young cat already had a run in the UFC. Was cut. He's now back, looking better than ever, if you ask me. I think he just beat Billy Q in his last contest.
Yes.
So Yusuf Zalal, a guy who took Ilia Topuria to a decision win, 29-28, on at least one or two of the judges' scorecards. Young guy just keeps getting better. I faded him in his last fight against Billy Q. I thought Billy Q would get it done. Mm-hmm. But I think that Yusuf just clearly has more skill, much more of an MMA fighter. I think unless he just throws it away and has just like a scrappy fight with this dude, I think is his only path to a loss. This is going to be in the Apex in a small cage in front of absolutely nobody. So I think he'll do the smart thing. He'll go for some grappling. Let me go Zalal finish, actually. Submission in the second round.
Nice. Hey, I like your aggressive touch on these picks, Skatesman. It gives me more chance to beat you come the end of this event. We've switched places.
No Diddy.
Yes, no. Wait, how's that one no Diddy? I don't get that one.
Did you not see Diddy assaulting his girlfriend in a hotel room hallway?
No, I didn't. Well, but thank you for informing me about that.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
Yep. Specifically to.
And he says I don't do any research. Come on, guys.
Yeah, it's just not MMA research, but it's
exactly. I get the important facts.
It's extracurricular research, but you made a fair point that since it's the Apex card, you get to see a lot of fights that would otherwise be really fun in front of fans with more energy, just reduced to fucking rotten grappling exchanges and oohs and uhs, like it's a freaking tennis match. But I agree that the Apex and the empty arena just leaves room for more boring fights. All
right, well, read off your notes. Let's hear them.
All right, here's my notes that I got. This is truly beat poetry here. Listen, troopers and grinders.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
I know Jarno Aarons looked really good in his fight with Steven Yeun, tapping into his samurai potential, Yuri Prohaska style, and looking very improved in there against a young, but not really that hungry contender. However, second UFC run, Yusuf Zalal is not Contender Series vet Steven Yeun. His striking is way cleaner. He's fast. He has takedown ability and looked absolutely dominant in there against Billy Quarantillo, who is still a solid contender at featherweight. His style might not match as well with the improved stand-up of Aarons, and no, I'm not talking about his comedy act he does in the Netherlands, but his ability to go on the offense, on the feet, and the ground, I think will be a deadly combination. And as Fire Marshal Bill would say, a deadly combination! And eventually, Aarons is getting put on his ass, and no Diddy. And Zalal's true Moroccan devil is coming out, no Jones. Aarons is going to get hurt over 3 rounds with good feints and the takedown threat. Maybe there's a potential finish here, but Aarons is still tough and now solid as featherweight. So I see Yusuf winning a unanimous decision. The Moroccan's finally going international. He's getting across the sea, man. He's getting to Europe.
So you're picking him by decision?
Yeah, I'm going with the decision.
That was a really long-winded way of saying you're picking Zalal by decision.
Yeah, I know, but I got to give these people their props. We have to know Idaho skate.
So Kiwi says he'll show me his tic-tac skating abilities. All right, let's go. Denial, good to see you, my good friend. He says BYB/BKFC over UFC, her average level of excitement and relevancy. I wouldn't think relevancy, I would say you're absolutely wrong about, but Yeah, excitement, sure. I used to really like BKFC. I think that it's gotten. I've been seeing more decisions as of late. So
I
I
have
mean,
too. Yeah,
um,
Connor isn't
Skate's
helping.
beard is looking respectable. Appreciate that, my friend. Good to see you.
I'm
Cool
sure.
breeze, my man. Heard you're hitting me up about some one in Atlanta. I'm fucking game. Let's go, man. I'm there. I'm there in Denver. Or sorry, in November in Atlanta. Sean is challenging you to a rap battle. Interesting. Diddy did his best Ray Rice impression.
Oh my.
That's true, he did. Alonzo left Pat's camp. Not that it mattered.
That's the true successor to P. Diddy. Right
Well,
there.
he's a smart man. No Elvis. That might have to be one we incorporate. He trains with Pat when Pat's free. He should be in jail. This week, I don't give a fuck. UFC sucks. No one can convince me otherwise when speaking in general purpose. Oh,
I'm going to convince you, man.
This week, you are 100% right, my friend, which I hate to admit. But yeah, let's do the next fight.
This is going to be the next Lemos versus Jandaroba, I'm telling you. Anyway, we move on to the third fight of the prelims. Good old Carl Williams. We all love this guy versus Yonata Diniz, fucking Brazilian kickboxer Chad. What do you got for this fight?
So Carl is 10-1. This is a heavyweight bout. Carl's 10-1, and Diniz is 7-0. Former kickboxer in glory. Wasn't ever like a high level kickboxer. Did have a match with Rico Verhoeven at one point, which is commendable. In Diniz's last fight, we saw him defeat Austin Lane. He got basically laid on for the first round, came back, and was able to knock out Austin Lane very impressively. And I think to the benefit of everybody viewing the card as well. Carl Williams, he is basically going to just go in there and have the same exact game plan, try to take down Diniz, wrestle him. I would say Carl Williams has pretty good cardio, higher fight IQ than one Austin Lane. I mean, I don't think that that's hard to achieve, though.
Like
I think Austin
in prison, as Jim Cornette would say.
Yeah, I don't think Austin Lane has a very high IQ in general. But it's a tricky one, man, because it's heavyweight's going to heavyweight. This could be a boring fight that goes all 3 rounds to decision. Diniz could get his KO. Carl Williams could, potentially ground and pound Diniz. That's not really what he's known for, though. It's a tough one to pick, but the no crowd, the smaller cage. I think that Carl Williams is the play here. I'm going to pick him to get a decision win, boring decision win. But, with that dog money, plus 185 on the underdog line, I don't think that it's the worst bet. Throwing a little bit of cash on Diniz to get it done by knockout. I think that's his best route to victory. What say you?
Yeah, I'm taking that underdog money, man. I'm taking Yonata Diniz by second round KO in classic Diniz style. I'm trusting Yonata Diniz to once again breathe some life into a seemingly bland UFC Apex fight night with a wicked second round knockout of Carl Williams, who I've been waiting for getting chinned for 2 years now. He might be the most boring heavyweight fighter on the planet, and that includes Jailton Almeida, the hero of UFC 302, by the way. Was such a commendable and exciting fighter. He gets outstruck on the feet and then shoots for the takedown and lays on his opponents for 5 whole minutes, sort of like a big Alexandre Pantoja. He was getting beaten up by Justin Tafa and even Chase Sherman before he took them down. But now, unfortunately for Carl, he'll be up against a guy who's been training takedown defense since his Contender Series fight and was able to show it against Austin Lane, albeit in the second round after getting taken down initially. But hey, better late than never. Just ask Alex Pereira against Izzy Adesanya. On the other hand, don't take that advice from Meredith Brown. Anyway, I feel like if Diniz was able to eventually have good takedown defense against the massive striker / wrestler in Austin Lane, he will show it even sooner and better in his fight against a guy who only wrestles in Carl Williams. Carl's is shorter too, so it might be easier for Diniz to get back on his feet and strike. And given Williams has awful striking and has been touched up before, no diddy, by just about every heavyweight he's come across, the kickboxer is going to chew up his legs and knock his block off Charlie Brown. The second round preferably, since Diniz will gradually be adjusting to his opponent as he did in his last fight. The Chad, Jonata Janice, is sending the Virgin, Carl Williams, back to the islands to train in grappling for 1FC. See what I did there? Virgin Islands.
So Sven Svensson says, no way this card is as bad as Lemos Genderova.
It's bad on paper. It's bad on paper.
On paper. Will Carl Williams get ranked at some point in this week heavyweight division? Maybe. As Denial says, every heavyweight's about 2 wins away from a top 15.
Yeah,
I think it's a pretty fair adjudication there. The problem is they really hate Carl Williams' style. I imagine that's why this fight is being made. If Denise can, kind of dispose of this guy that's on a pretty respectable winning streak in Carl Williams, I think that he probably might be ranked sooner than Carl Williams would, coming off of a win here. Sean says, boo, bad pick with Denise.
You're one to tell me, Sean, about bad picks. How many points did you get?
Yeah, he did go last place last pick'em stream. Maybe I should switch my pick to Denise. Like I said, I'm giving Denise credit here. I do think that he could win the fight, but again, heavyweight's going to heavyweight, man. You never really know what's going to happen in there. Juice Man 562, what is up, my good friend? He says, "Yo, can you shout out Stash Cam so he can sub because he almost out of the casual stage." Nice. What is up, Stash Cam? Join us. Join the dark side, my friend. Vanilla Gorilla Chase Sherman. Does Hank own a teleprompter? Yeah, he literally does. He literally has a teleprompter back there, like Joe Biden reading off the teleprompter.
Let me tell you, Jack, I was serving as a senator back in the 70s, and I look younger than you, man. My golf game's real good. Sean
says he has a typewriter person, like at court. Yeah, it's called a stenographer, my friend. Tank is a living teleprompter. His mind reads like a stenographer type, yes. Denise is live. Yeah. No, dude, I'm just going to ride with Carl Williams. I think the thing about these kickboxers that come into the UFC, everybody thinks that like, oh, a kickboxer in the UFC is going to do what Alex Pereira did. The problem is that what Alex Pereira is doing is you'll probably never ever see this ever again. I mean, to be fair, no other kickboxer, even championship level kickboxer as Alex Pereira was in glory. And this guy is not, and neither was Israel Adesanya, right? And Adesanya, I would say he didn't even really do what Alex Pereira did. It's a rarity, but I'm not saying that Denise is, not going to get any wins or he sucks or anything. But this is definitely a great test for him. A guy who just purely wants to wrestle versus a guy in Austin Lane who is willing to stand and strike because his fight IQ is so low. I think Carl Williams is a favorite for a reason, and that's why I'm picking him to win by decision.
Yeah, sure. Well, I hope that he gets fucking flatlined. That's what I'm rooting for, and that's what I'm picking.
Thank you, Juice Man. Good to see you. Also, kickflip back sugarcane. He knows what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm sure I'll figure out that reference eventually. Maybe in my 60s. Next, we have the fourth fight of our prelims. Carol Rosa, one of the most exciting you'll ever see. Yes, sir. Against Pani the Pansy Kianzad. What a barn burner here. Let me tell you.
So Carol Rosa is 17-6. Pani Kianzad is 16-8. This fight will take place at the bantamweight division. You got Carol Rosa, the younger of the two. She's the favorite. Pani Kianzad is the underdog here. One thing that I know for certain is this fight will go to decision. Pani Kianzad, more of a record is deceiving because, once you're fighting in MMA at the highest level of, like the top 15 of the division, you're going to fight a lot of people at the same time. That's holds true in her last fight, which was a rematch to Macy Chiasson. I like Pani. I think she's a very serviceable fighter. But Carol Rosa, I faded her quite a bit. Most of the time because I get her confused with some other women's fighter. Just because she's so boring, both of these fighters pretty boring. I think Pani's a little more of a dog. I would say she has a little more power, though I don't think she has very many finishes on her record. This is a tricky one to pick. I don't really think you could go wrong either way. I think I'm going to – when I first saw this matchup introduced, I was going with Pani. I'm like, oh, yeah, Pani's got this. But I've kind of switched my pick over to Carol. She's the younger fighter, has a little more volume. I think she has a little bit more of the submission grappling threat. Penny is known to lose some of her fights by submission. I think that she is a decent wrestler, though. Yeah. So let's go Splitty City. Let's go Carol Hosa.
Yeah, good redemption arc from the Skatesman. And let me tell you guys, Skatesman would have flipped the lid of a soda can if he had any in the fridge. But unfortunately, he didn't go shopping today, so he had to actually make a decision with this one, it was tough. It was tough. But I got the same decision as you, Skatesman, because I got Carol Rosa by decision. Carol Rosa had an absolute war against the former challenger for the UFC Women's Bantamweight Championship. Ha ha! In Irene Aldana, where she showed how technical and tough on the feet she was through multiple low kicks that wobbled Aldana. No weasel. And good enough striking offense and defense that she was able to stay in it against an absolute killer, power puncher, powerhouse for 15 whole minutes. That alone is enough to convince me to pick her against Pannie Kianzad, who lost to Caitlin Vieira and is one more loss away from being cut from the UFC.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with losing to Caitlin Vieira. She's a huge woman for the weight class. And not to mention, Pannie did take some fights at 145, and I believe that's where that contest was held.
Yeah. I've heard from some people, though, that it was a strange decision. A lot of people did have Vieira winning that fight. So it's interesting. So
sorry to break your notes there. Go ahead and continue the teleprompter.
All right, thank you. I get so confused here, Jack. My brain's been fucking melting for about a week. I need my uppers. But yeah, not much to say. I think she's bad, while Rosas is good. And if she can make a fight with Irene Aldana competitive, this fight should be pretty uncompetitive.
That's a good point.
I don't see a lot of talent in. Rosa will chew up Kianzad and spit her out for 3 whole rounds. And Pansy Pannie will be screaming "Bonsai" on the way out of the UFC because that's her nickname, Bonsai.
Yeah, I like Pannie though. I think she's an all right fighter.
She's an attractive lady.
Sean says Bob Burnquist. Denial says more of a Chad Muska guy myself. Respectable. Chad Muska used to grind big old handrails and shit, and he'd have like a boom box on his shoulder while he's like hitting a fucking trick down a rail. So sick. Not to knock Alex, but he was given a quick route to the title because the Izzy fight was such a moneymaker that needed to happen. Yeah, but the point is that he's been proving himself at every stage of that, whether he was rushed or not. And he's still here.
And he had a win against Sean Strickland that has aged like a fucking fine wine. So
not to mention he won a title up a weight class, you know. LML Sugar, you're a beast. His shoes were cool. We'll talk about Muska. Terry Kennedy. Pierre Luke Gannon. Wow, I'm surprised that Sean knows who PLG is. Shout out to PLG. Sven, that's all fine and well, but he delivered every time. Yes, they have called his number. He's earned his fame and belts. 100%. Kareem Campbell. Nice. Another solid name there, Sean. I'm live with my casual friend. He's almost transitioning to our dark side. Shout out to the Thrasher UFC fans. Love it. Skating and MMA go hand in hand. You know, there's this thing called Street League. It's like the top street skateboarding competition thing out there. You actually make the most money doing street leagues, more than X Games. Just found out it's owned by the Fertitta brothers, and it's actually owned by Endeavor. They're part owners. And they've actually been doing, when they have off days in the Apex, they've actually been doing Street League events at the UFC Apex. Actually, kind of hilarious.
The more you know.
Look, Christina Lewis, Bale, it won't disappoint Skate. Do it now. He'll sub. All right, I might have to pull it up. Kellen gonna beat Kayla and the Dream, Large Brazilians as her kryptonite. Jeff Kendall, dude, look at that. We're getting some good old fucking names, dude. Yeah, 3 fights before the title shot, not 2.
They all kick my ass.
Yes, exactly, Sniff. You know, I kind of agree with him a little bit. I was boarding in 2000 and 2001. Well, that makes sense. My favorite shoes are at knees, but I love DVS. I'm a Nike SB guy. P-Rod and Checkler put that shit on, didn't they? I think, but yeah, like I said, it's actually owned by fucking basically Dana and the Fertitta brothers now. Black Label. Fuck yeah, dude. Black Label's the shit. I love Black Label. Shout out to Lucero.
The house always wins, Skatesman. Anyway, we got, I believe it's our last fight of the, yes, it is our last fight of the prelims. We got Charalampos Gregorio. I'm doing so well with that pronunciation, Skatesman. I'm almost scaring myself.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, against Toshiomi Kazama. We got the ferocious against the silent finisher. And this could be rated scrap, in my opinion, Skatesman.
I think that this is bottom of the barrel bantamweight. Doesn't get any more terrible than this.
Right.
I'm not really high on either guy. And actually, to tell you the truth, I don't remember a single one of their fights. I've been watching some previews on this, and I still don't know which way to go. I think it's probably the Gregorio route, mostly because I fade Japanese fighters a lot of the time, unless their name is Tetsuro Taira. And I'm actually really stoked to see Kaya Sakura's debut.
Yeah,
I guess Gregorio decision. I really don't know.
Yeah, I've actually got a very surprising pick for this one. I got Charalampos Gregorio by round 1 knockout.
Wow.
Yeah, Toshiomi Kazama calls himself the silent finisher. No diddy. And I think the reason he's assigned himself that nickname is that he hasn't gotten one finish in the UFC yet. That being said, he's definitely been getting finished loudly by the likes of Garrett Armfield, who just lost to Brady Highstand within a round, and wrestlefucker Rinya Nakamura. How is that possible now that we know what we do about Rinya Nakamura? It boggles the mind. This silent and dead motherfuckers getting finished in the first round. If complete losers on the feet can finish you within 5 minutes, I feel like the ferocious Charalampos Gregorio is going to dust him inside 1 round. As well, given he was known as a finisher outside the UFC before his loss to Chad Enhilliger. Now, that's a bad loss. I will admit that's a bad loss. But I think before that, he was getting good finishes against guys on the independent scene.
Yeah, not only that, I just looked at it. He's 4-1 out of his last 5. His one loss was in his UFC debut. And before that, all 4 of his wins were by knockout. So I think Hank convinced me to change my pick. I'm going to do the prices right on him, though, and go round 2 knockout.
Yeah. So with a little technique and power, it seems anybody can put away silent but deadly. Plus, the UFC wants to keep this guy around since he's from yet another non-MMA country that they can groom. No diddy. So give me Gregorio by first round knockout. We're piling him up, dude. We're going to get double digits by the time this stream's over. Yes, let's go, Sean.
Denial says it's all really just one big prelim.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out this slam at some point.
We're gonna have a one-hit wonder on here.
This is an owl heavy card. Lots of
Woo! Yeah, just ask Kamaru Usman.
That's hilarious. All right, next one.
All right, hold on. Let me scroll up.
Please read off the weight class and the women's records, please. Good.
Sure. All right. So we got Yana Santos against Chelsea Chandler. I believe this is going to be fought at.
I'm looking at Tapology. It says featherweight, but then it says 135, so it's going to be women's bantamweight. There is no featherweight anymore in the UFC.
Yeah, it's done and dusted. So it's going to be at women's bantamweight, and then they're going to weigh in on fucking Friday. They got Foxy Yana Santos as a slight favorite, and Chelsea Chandler at near even on the betting. But I'm not looking forward to this that much, only for Chelsea Chandler to pull another meme and maybe get a few chuckles out of me. But what do you think about the fight, Skatesman? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win now?
So the 14-8 Yana Santos is 2-3 in her last 5. Chelsea Chandler is 4-1. Chelsea Chandler kind of got embarrassed by Norma Dumont. This is why everyone thinks she really sucks, and she's a runner. The thing is Chelsea Chandler is very, very big for the weight class. It says they're both 5'8", but Chelsea Chandler is much more stacked muscle-wise. And just the bigger girl. If this was Yana Kunitskaya and not Yana Santos, I think I would be picking her. But the thing is, ever since she got with Thiago Santos and had that baby, both of them have just been on terrible, terrible streaks in MMA. Actually, this is Yana's she's on a 3-fight skid heading into this.
Looks like it was a match made in hell.
And I think that Chelsea Chandler gets this done pretty handily. I think that it could go to splitty. You know, Yana's a veteran. She's not going to go out with a whimper. But I think that Chelsea Chandler's just the more physical, bigger girl. This might be one to wait till weigh-ins because I think Chelsea Chandler has been known to miss weight in her previous fights. So if she misses weight, bet on her for sure. You know, pick her for sure. But if she makes weight, she might be a little more drained. Yana might be able to pull some veteran savvy type stuff out of her ass. But Chelsea Chandler, I mean, once she gets on top, it's hard for girls to get out from bottom. I'm gonna go Chelsea Chandler by decision.
Yeah, I honestly think this is the most lucrative underdog you could pick on the card. As soon as I saw that she was a fucking underdog, I was like, yeah, cash that shit. Personally, if I bet. But I got Chelsea Chandler by decision as well. Chandler's going to run circles around Yana Santos, given her acumen as a collegiate track star, while Yana Santos unleashes her foxy potential outside the UFC by pursuing other entertainment platforms. If you know, you know. Just ask, again, the girl who is accusing Alex Pereira. That's going to be the line of work. In all seriousness...
How did I know you were going to bring that up?
Because you can read me like a book. I have no subtlety.
It's funny that you mentioned the Olympic track star because that's what Kiwi says. Chandler all day. She pissed and missed the Olympic track team. Juice Man says Danielle failed me, bro. I tried. I would have brought it up, but I don't think Hank's willing to. And I can't bring things up right now. I'm on a fucking tablet here. Go ahead though. My bad.
Oh, okay. Oh, never mind. In all seriousness, Chandler has good takedown ability. She's faster than Yana Santos. She's more dependable on the feet. And the only time she's looked all that bad was, like Idaho Skatesman said, against Norma Dumont, who's the chosen Bunda. No shame in that loss, although doing running practice in the middle of a fight...
I'll be right back. I'm going to get a water.
Pretty bad. And while Skatesman's gone, let me see what the chat's saying. Never mind, I'm going to keep going. Well, I got to convince Skatesman about who I think is going to win, so might as well go through these comments. Sorry if I can't bring up the fucking comments because Skatesman's controlling this shebang. Yana is most famous for being Holly Holm's punching bag. Agreed, and I'm going to get to that in my description of how I think the fight's going to go. If this was taking large Brazilian... I'd pick Yana. I agree. Yeah, she takes it like a champ. Just ask Tiago. Well, they both been taking it up the rear. No Jones recently. Chandler was a 4x200 alternate. I heard. Wow. Maybe she can join the Michael Chandler family, given that she has the last name, and they're adopting at this point. And now they'll adopt anyone at this rate, as long as they fit into their ideology. I'm coming on, low, since no Big Red. Please don't, Sean. Anyway, the only time she's looked bad was against Norma Dumont. No shame in that loss, although doing running practice in the middle of a fight is pretty bad. I guess there is shame there. Still, Chandler's look dominant everywhere else, and Yana Santos got grinded out against the cage for 3 rounds by Holly Holm Dvalishvili. So I know Chandler, no Michael, by the way, can get the takedowns and dominate Santos on the ground for a unanimous decision win. Yana also pretty much lost to Caitlin Vieira, so she should be on a 4-fight losing streak instead of a 3-fight losing streak. Why is she still in the UFC again? Yeah, you tell me.
Because they don't have a lot of women's bantamweights.
Yep, and I think that division is going to be on the way out as well if they don't have Kayla Harrison winning the belt.
They will.
Yeah, so maybe when Nunes returns, then it's the big bucks, I tell you. She's totally a draw, you guys. Anything in the comments? Let's go through the troopers and grinders, shall we?
Talking about stash cams, let me know you guys. Look up Christian Lewis Bales. That's stash cam. All right, I'll check him out. She's not dark enough. Raw versus Welsh at the Sphere. And I just blew up the toilet. Wow, great idea going to the chat room. Let's move on.
Yeah, too much peanut butter and crack for good old Tyrone. We then move on to another. What the hell is this fight position during a main card? Is that the undercard or something? What's like the second fight on the main card? I have no fucking idea. It's Chris Gutierrez versus Kwang Lei. They are fighting featherweight, I believe. No, bantamweight. So
Yeah, I believe Quang Lee is a short notice replacement.
Yep.
I mean, this is not going to be hard to pick. Chris Gutierrez is going to get this one done. The question is how. Is Quang? No, his name is Quang, not how. The question is, what's his method? Just combing through the 32-year-old Vietnamese man, Quang Lee from Minnesota.
Oh yeah,
winning his fights in LFA by knockout. That's a good look. He has a split decision 3 fights ago, two KO streak. He's undefeated, obviously. Chris Gutierrez losing that fight to Song Yadong, where he got pretty much cleaned up by him. Decision to Alatong Heli, who is not a very good fighter. Decision loss to Pedro Munoz in a technical kickboxing affair. And before that, he's the man who sadly knocked out viciously Frankie Edgar with a flying knee for his retirement fight. So, I mean, Gutierrez by decision, which is what Denial's going with. I think it's the safe pick here. Gutierrez, 33. It's hard to say if he's improving at this stage of his career. He's got great leg kicks. I don't know, man. I think he can get a knockout, but I think the safest route would be to pick him by decision, which is what I'm going to go with.
Smart. I think Tyrone's trying to get us banned at the moment, so I'd be careful scrolling through his shit. You know that, and not just the shit that he's typing, but the shit he had with the toilet recently. So be careful. Yeah, he was. So was We Too Low, Ho Li Fook, and Bang Ding Ao. They were pilots who were tragically killed in an airline flight in 2002. Anyway, my pick, I've got Chris Gutierrez by round 3 KO, the Idaho Skatesman way. Quang Bang Lee has been on a hot streak in the LFA.
I mean, he's literally 6-0.
Yes. Getting 2 wicked first-round KOs in his last 2 fights for the promotion. However, before that, he went to a split decision with a 6-3 guy on short notice. Not exactly a good look going into this fight. He's taken on short notice once again against an experienced pro who was training for Saturday by the name of Chris Gutierrez. He looked surprisingly good against Song Yadong, piecing him up on the feet and doing really well with the distance to catch Song coming in and time him so as to neutralize his offense. Only getting beat through the takedowns, if I remember that correctly. For this fight, Gutierrez trained for a wrestler in Javed Basharat, and now he's getting sort of another one with Lei, whose key to victory, in my opinion, is a submission due to, I think, Gutierrez being the more talented and experienced striker of the two of them, and having the accumulated takedown defense from that Dong fight, no Diddy, to counter Lei's grappling and have better counters for whatever Quang is throwing on short notice. He's got to keep that guapo face protected, man. He's muy guapo. With Gutierrez's excellent technique and quickness, I actually see him wearing Lei out for the round 3 TKO, but a decision makes sense as well. Either way, this is one of the fights I'm looking most forward to on the card because both these guys can stand and bang, man. It's going to be an exciting little war. The main card has a few solid fights, but for the most part, it's like finding diamonds in the fucking turd sandwich.
Denial says Basharat was going to lose anyway. India sucks at MMA, sports in general, unless it's field hockey, which is for girls. They have a strong wrestling team, too.
Is Basharat from India?
I don't think he is. Anyway, let's move on.
That didn't work out well. We move on to our third fight on the main card. We got good old Danny Barlow, left hand to God, versus Nikolay Veretennikov. I have not even said that like in real time before we started, and I think I nailed that. I'll be honest.
Yeah, nice. Better than Tybura. No E in that man's name. Don't know how you think that's the way you pronounce that.
Alex Piera, Yuri Prokaska.
Danny Barlow 8-0. Say it one more time. Veretennikov.
Nikolay Veretennikov.
Nice. 12-4 from, I believe, Kazakhstan. Yes. Nikolai is 4-1 in his last fight. Danny Barlow, obviously undefeated. People really hyped to see Danny Barlow on this card. I think that Veretennikov is definitely he's a serviceable guy. I think that the line is pretty big. But yeah, I'm gonna pick Danny Barlow here to get it done, probably by knockout. Just looking through his last couple fights here, KO Josh Quinlan. Josh Quinlan kind of sucks. And before that, he got a knockout to get into the UFC. Before that, he was knocking out everybody else. So yeah, let's go. Let's go, Danny Barlow. Knockout. I'll go second round. It could be in the first, but when these Veretenikovs and Romanovs and Ovs and Ievs, when they fight, man, you would think that they'd want to grapple you. Veretenikov is actually coming off of a 3-fight finish streak, 2 of them knockouts, 1 submission. His last loss was to Michael Morales on the Contender Series via decision.
That's the guy from the Spider-Man movies.
And before that, he knocked out Anthony Ivy, longtime MMA vet.
We just saw him in Bellator or PFL, right? He got like a submission, I think. Good old Anthony.
I don't watch that shit. B. Baney. All right, what's up? What's up, bro? What's up, musical? Good to see you in here.
That's his catchphrase, like AJ's "knock the fuck out." That's his AJ. I have also got Danny Barlow. I got him by first round knockout. Nikolay Veretenikov, perfect translation, faced some pretty B-league opponents on the regional scene, mostly guys who are either shorter than him or journeymen destined to lose at the highest level. Now, once again, we've got an opponent for a UFC level guy coming in on short notice, and I'm really doubting that Nikolay pulls off a win here, especially against someone whose specialty is striking and in the prime of his career in terms of training and potential for improvement in the octagon, in my opinion. If you've been watching the podcast long enough, you know that I'm a fan of Danny Barlow and have picked him to win his fights in the UFC since his Contender Series debut. His nickname's Left Hand to God, but it's more like a left hand of God because he puts his opponents out with that sucker Pereira style. No Jones. Now I know that Josh Quinlan put up a tougher fight against Barlow than he should have. I know that, but even with a broken hand, Danny was still able to put him out in the third round through just having different power at welterweight. Even before that, he was hitting Quinlan with huge shots that would have put other fighters out cold. Maybe the pure impact of his shots is why he broke his hand in the first place. But hey, that's just a theory. An MMA theory. Thanks for watching. Now he's facing this Kazakh fighter on short notice who's probably going to spam takedowns because in the striking he isn't as prepared. And if Danny stuffs them, which I think he will given he's more trained for this fight, Nikolay will be a low bar for Barlow to clear. I'm thinking the power will be there and Danny Barlow will score a knockout in the first round, fully establishing himself as a serious contender in the UFC welterweight division, which I am all aboard for. Love me some Danny Barlow. And he's going to deliver a great post-fight promo as well. So looking forward to that.
Sean says Mira or Hoffman. Well, Mira's dead. Hoffman. I actually met Hoffman, believe it or not. Strange enough. But that's BMX shit, man. Come on. Let's keep it MMA or skateboarding and never wrestling.
Well, it's SkateTankMMA, and then we got No Chills in here or there, and we got the Sean Moody's of the world. So why can't we all just get along and be one big happy family? Dana White wants that, right? He loves it. Anyway, we move on to our feature fight of the evening. Good old Chepe Mariscal against Damon the Hairline Jackson. They're both fighting at featherweight. They were both on the Allen versus Curtis 2 card, which is why they're being booked here. I'm looking forward to this fight personally. I think both guys know how to bring the heat when it comes to the fight, and both had really good fights on that card. So how do you think this one's going to go?
Well, as you said, they both bring the heat. The problem is I think Damon Jackson's days of bringing the heat are numbered. He's a little more chinny, 36-year-old out of Dallas, training at Fortis MMA. They got a fantastic team and a fantastic coach down there. Chepe Mariscal, on the other hand, is just the younger guy, the guy that's willing to scrap a little more. I think that he is probably the way to go here. Though I think Damon Jackson, man, he's always dangerous. And a guy I always root for just because I love his fighting style, man. Yeah. Not to mention he got that decision win over Alexander Hernandez in his last fight, which was a tough battle. but I think they gave him the decision just because he's got that new hair. You know, he's got some hair implants. They need to update his Tapology picture because the guy's got killer hair, man. I want to give him credit for credit's due.
Yeah, he's grown it back with keeps, you know.
And
that's not cheap, you know, it's not cheap.
But yeah, like I said, Chippy Mariscal on a fantastic run. I think he gets it done. I hope that Damon Jackson gets it done, but I think if there's a firefight, and also if Damon Jackson isn't able to take him to the ground and get a quick submission, I think that Chippy Mariscal is going to have this in the bag. Could be a late knockout or a decision. I'm not sure. I think I'll go decision. I think I'm gonna go decision with Chippy Mariscal.
Nice. If you recall, Skatesman, Allen versus Curtis 2 was actually the first card that we ever predicted together.
Oh, interesting.
Remember when we were on the Big Red stream, and I believe it was this card that we were running down. So these two are a very deep place within our hearts. Totally. It's not like they're just a bunch of fucking jobbers in the featherweight division. They mean a lot, but
not a close place in my heart.
Yeah, his cold dead heart that was 3 sizes too small. But I got Chippy Mariscal by decision. I think this is going to be a fun fight. Both men bring the heat, as I previously stated. Holy shit, I read my own mind there. As we saw on the Allen versus Curtis 2 card. But I think that Chippy Mariscal has more urgency on the feet than Alexander Hernandez had against Damon, the leached hairline Jackson. And will live up to his nickname as the machine gun and just blast Jackson over 15 minutes. If Alexander Hernandez had put on a little more aggression against Jackson, I think he would have won it personally. And Chip has that aggression in spades. He outscrapped Trevor Peak, broke Jack Jenkins' arm with a slam, and even put on a war with Morgan Charriere, which I argue he lost, but still, he won that. He'll have a warrior spirit in there with Damon Jackson and beat him up as long as the fight lasts. As long as he stays on the feet against the grappling of Jackson, this should be a cinch for him since Jackson has little on striking offense in the cage outside of just, punching from a distance. Chepe's eating the demon like a crepe. No Jones. I don't know how I came up with that one. I think
that's interesting. All right. Well, our guest has arrived, Mr. Dylan Big Red. What's going on? What's going on, Dylan? How you doing, man?
Big Red. The man, the myth, the legend.
Holy shit, his internet's worse than yours.
Hello?
About that. People joined my stream and I got sidetracked. What's up?
I see. It makes all the sense. Was Girth there? Nice. Oh.
His internet is somehow worse than yours. That is shocking.
He looks like a fucking wax sculpture right now. It's like half melted. One of the eyeballs is like falling.
Yeah. All right, we'll move up the card. Let's give our prediction for the main event.
Look, it's Damon Jackson and Chippy Mariscal. Don't you remember?
And he's out. What do you know?
Well, let's move on. We got the main event of the evening. The Universal Pictures hottest thrill of the summer. It's better than Godzilla versus Kong. It's Marcin Tybura. What an incredible nickname. Against Sergey the Polar Bear Spivac. Fighting, if you couldn't tell, at the heavyweight division. And they're both near even on this one. So this is a very highly contentious fight. And I've been looking through all the betting YouTube channels, and they're very perplexed concerning who they think is going to win this one because they're both fucking terrible. But who you got for this one, Skatesman?
Yeah, so this is a rematch of their first fight when Sergey Spivac, I think 3 years ago maybe. I think this is a tough one to predict. You either think that Spivac has gotten a little better, which for my eye, I would say he's probably grown in confidence, but not necessarily actual fighting ability and skills. What do you think about this matchup? I mean, it's kind of a strange main event, to say the least.
It's super strange. I really don't like this main event. Just like I haven't liked the last 3 or 4 main events. Fight nights. Almost
yeah, that's fair.
Pattern here. Like they want to make us hate the Apex so we can buy more pay-per-views because their pay-per-view numbers have actually been going down this year.
Feel about come on, right? Oh, You guys can hear me right now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hear me?
Yeah, we could just, you're in slow motion right now, Big Red. Just talk through the audio. We don't know you, Big Red. We don't know you. So just do a fucking corpse husband and just give us your sultry voice.
All right, well, I don't know. He's kind of. We can hear you really good now, though.
Yeah. What do you got for this one, Big Red? Who are you gonna
pick? Know me either right now.
Who do you think is gonna win this thrilling contest, Dylan?
Really good now. Oh, we can hear echo and shit too. All right,
Spivac,
this is not working.
Spivac's gonna win this contest.
All right, I'll go.
Yeah, I just talked to you about this.
All right. Well, as soon as he comes back.
All right. Well, that's just ruining the show. We love it. We love it. Good stuff.
Okay.
I want to pick Spivac. I think that he. I don't know, dude. I don't know how to pick this. Like I said in the first heavyweight contest, heavyweight's gonna heavyweight. You got better money if you bet for Spivac in Spivac's favor. Oh, sorry, in Tybura's favor. There he is on his phone, and he's loud and clear. There we can see your beautiful face.
I'm good.
You're good.
Fantastic. You're beautiful.
Yeah,
hold on, give me 1 second. So I want to pick Spivac. I actually want him to win this fight. The problem is Tybura is always the guy to like take out a prospect, as he did when in their first contest, and he just kind of always wins that fight that you know, I don't know, expect him to lose. He is 3-2 in his last 5, so he does have some losses on the record. But I really don't think you can go bad either way. I think that Tybura has better striking. I think that Spivac has, I guess, better wrestling. But I think it's kind of evened out. The real thing is, I think that Spivac's just the younger, like more in shape guy. I think both these guys are relatively in shape for heavyweights. But dude, I don't know. Give me Spivac decision, I guess. I really don't know. What do you think, Big Red?
I think that Spivac took his bad losses when he was younger. He was like 25.
Yeah, and that's not even in the UFC. That's just like domestic stuff. Who's taking L's, dude?
But that's the point. I mean, he's 25. He's new. You know what I mean? People develop. They like 29, 32.
Sound like you're in a wind tunnel right now.
You're underwater, but keep going.
Yeah, but I mean, like people are in their peaks like around 29 to like 32 in MMA, and like, you know, he took his bad losses, the ones that we're like looking at going, doubt.
Yeah. I think that's really fair, honestly. I mean, he did lose his last fight to Cyril Gahn, but I think that either of these guys obviously lose when they get up in the higher ranks of, you know, the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, Cyril Gahn's not a loss to like scoff at either.
Yeah, and what's up, Lola Jackson? Good to see you. StreamYard hates Dylan. Yep, that is true. Are you on Straight Talk Data now? That's fucked up. Hank, give us your pick.
All right, well, I'm going to split the tie since obviously you guys can't make up your mind. One of you's going Tybura, the other's going Spivac.
He's picking Spivac too, and so am I.
I know I'm being sarcastic here, but I'm here to break the tie because Hank the Tank always comes out on top and is the final judge of these things. And I got Marcin Tybura by decision. Here it is, the battle of the beasts. In one corner, a pole with gigantism and a haircut from the 1940s, and not in a good way. No Adolf. And in the other corner, an emaciated polar bear with the eyes of Betty Davis. Who to pick between these two horrors? I think I'll go. Yeah, I'm walking here. Hey, and there, down goes Frazier. I'm going to go with Polish Frankenstein because he beat Spivac before. And in my opinion, Sergey Spivac hasn't gotten much better since their first encounter. He won against Greg Hardy and Augusto Sakai. Great. His one impressive performance was against Derek Lewis, but his skill level on fight night is very unpredictable. And I think he was in a bad place during that time, if I'm not mistaken, was Derek Lewis. So I don't think that win is all that great after a fat and hard to predict heavyweight. And Tybura, I think, has found a second wind since his win over Tai Tuivasa. His grappling will be quality enough to neutralize Spivac's own wrestling, or at the very least, prevent him from getting subbed. which I think is the sole way that Spivac can win this fight. And by the time the second round rolls around, Spivac's going to gas out and be in a bit of trouble when Tybura starts laying into him on the feet and eventually beats up Spivac enough to earn a 48-47, maybe even fucking majority decision in a rotten fight over 25 minutes. God help me when I watch live on
you know what a majority decision is, don't you?
It's when one's a draw and the others are for Tybura.
Do you think there'll be a draw? One judge will have it a draw?
Well, it's a fucking 5-rounder, so who knows what the fuck it's going to be. I know that Tybura's won a majority decision before. In fact, I think he won against the guy like after Spivac by majority decision.
I think you meant to say unanimous decision, but
I'm saying it'll be close. I'm saying that we might get a takedown one round and then not get the takedown the other one.
I do agree. I do agree with you there.
Yeah. So I just feel like Tybura has the better striking. I feel like he's not as like, oh, he's either on or off like Derek Lewis. Like I feel like Tybura is very like on point most of the time. It's just he was dealing with Tom Aspinall, so obviously you're going to get fucking dusted by Tom Aspinall. But when he's not getting dusted by like the greatest heavyweight on the planet, I think he's actually quite solid at takedown defense. And for that reason, I think he's going to neutralize most of what Spivac's throwing. I don't think he gets subbed. So for that reason,
yeah, you know, if this was Spivac like 3 or 4 years ago, or sorry, Tybura a couple years ago, I'd pick him. But I don't know if I'm feeling a little more confident about Spivac just seeing the age difference up there. I mean,
yeah,
you got Sergey Spivac almost 10 years younger than Tybura, I think. And again, like Sergey Spivac, the only fighter on the roster from Moldova. I mean, just a terrible country, poorest country in the EU by miles. I don't know, man. I think that he's. I mean, not to get political, but you know, it borders Ukraine. There is a Russian enclave of sorts in Moldova called Transnistria. I think he probably has a lot of pride back home. You know what I'm saying? And probably a lot of people supporting him. On the opposite end, I think Tybura is coming to the end of his career. But yeah, I do agree it'll be close. I just think that Spivac, I just edge him a little bit in this fight. But yeah.
Look at that haircut, Idaho Skatesman, of Marcin Tybura. The man is feeling himself right now. No.
Yeah, he's sort of got like a Trump thing going on.
Yeah, no Trump. So he beat Tuivasa, and I just feel like he's going to fight his way. He's going to eat his way out into the UFC.
Who would win in a competitive eating contest between these two?
Ooh, I think it would definitely be Spivac. I don't know. He's just got the physique for it, you know. And just look at that fucking flab under his arms. Like he's got enough room to spare. You know what I'm saying? Big boy's got. Whereas
I apologize for the technical difficulties and the terrible cameo from Big Red, but you know, Big Red actually brought us together like Voltron, and got to pay my respects to the man when he comes on the show. So shout out to Big Red, though his connection was absolutely terrible. We did get a pick out of him, so that's nice.
And he brought a lot of other people into his channel as well. People who we can't mention and segments that we can't mention as well. But he did bring us this wholesome duo. Oh, thank you, Dylan, for all you've done in God's grace. But yeah, that's this wonderful card. Looking forward to it. Hey, it's Big Red. What do you got for us? Close us out, Big Red. Final thoughts on this card.
Yeah, give us like all your picks. Run down the card. Give us all your picks.
This last.
Or maybe don't. Tybura has the whole fifth element thing going on. He might get it done. Spivac looked trash versus gone. Sure.
He did.
All right. Big Red's standing up. I don't know what he's doing.
I don't think he knows that he's on camera.
Oh God. Gonna act like a motherfucker. God damn it. All right, let me turn you guys up.
No, don't turn us up, because then we can hear the echo.
Echo. But yeah, what a monstrosity. And I had a joke going in. I might have said it already, but we got 10 fights on this card. And I was wondering to myself, what is it? Mexican Independence Day? Why else would you have 10 fights? You know?
That card's gonna be trash outside of the top 3. I don't know where Dylan went, but I am interested to hear what his picks are for this card, because we're trying to get the fuck out of here. It's been about an hour on this trash card. Oh, he's got another. Oh, okay. Let's see how this works.
Big
All right, give
Red.
us your picks. Give us your picks.
Give us the full card picks.
The full card picks. Dude,
Yes,
I don't
sir.
even watch MMA, dude.
All right, well, I'll run them down. I'll run them down real quick. Give me 1 second. Hold the phone. Hold the phone.
That's
Okay.
what I do. When I tried to use my computer, look what happened. I gotta hold the
Now
phone.
you're holding the phone for sure, but not in anticipation of something, but just because you have to. So the first fight on the card. These are two very memorable names, Dylan. We got Stephanie Luciano and Talita Alankar. Who amongst these beauties gets the W?
Double KO loss.
Double KO. I love it.
All right. Next, we got Jarno Aarons, the Netherlands Chad, against Yusuf Zalal, the Moroccan Devil.
Yusuf Zalal. I think
Zalal.
Yusuf Zalal.
Good old Zalal.
100%.
Beautiful pick. Perfect pick. Fuck Jarno Aarons.
That's definitely a Zalal.
Yeah, he never improved Jarno Aarons. He has no potential. Don't let him tell you otherwise. Then we got good old Carl Williams against Yonata Denise, my favorite kickboxer besides Alex. No Chama.
What are the odds on that one?
Who?
What are the odds on that one?
Oh, let's look at the odds. So Carl Williams is the moderate favorite at minus 225, while Yonata Denise is the slight underdog at plus 185. Some cashable money, if you will.
Yeah, I think that I mean, if I'm betting, I'm going underdog on the line just because I think the value's there. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not 100% confident he's gonna win, but like at plus 180, I take plus 180.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty good. And if you remember his last fight, he got taken down by Austin Lane, but then he slowly improved in the takedown defense and got the knockout, while Carl Williams only shoots takedowns. So it's a nice line right there.
Austin Lane, dude.
Yeah.
Poor Austin Lane. I mean, that guy, every time you think he's like right there on the cusp, and then he gets just in humiliating fashion every time.
Yeah, and I
Man.
love it. Hey, it's nonstop entertainment. We got to give him his flowers.
Imagine, like, you got the chance to knock out Greg Hardy. You're also an NFL
Shutterhead
player.
is here.
And so is
You know
Western
what I'm
Mass. What's up?
John Baptiste.
Yeah,
0 and 10. I think you'll go 0. I don't think you'll go 0 and 10. I think that you'll be all right. As long as you listen to this podcast, you'll be all right.
Yeah, watch the replay.
I just ended my own stream. I was like, okay, well, I'm going over here. So I think that was what was causing it to freeze. But
Dude, I think it's already over, Sean. It's already over after game 1, but you can get close to a tie. You can get 100.
The only way you'll win, Sean, is if all the underdogs win, and that's why you beat us the last few times.
Yeah, I think that's a tough chance of that happening. Then we got our fourth fight for the evening. Good old Karol Rosa against Pani Kianzad. What do you think, Big Red, if you're still with us and not a rocket man flying out?
I mean, anybody besides, what's her name? Kinzad. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, the pansy, as I like to call it.
Yeah, I mean, how many fights does she have in a row that she's lost?
She's 16-8. She's on a 3-fight skid.
Yeah, 3-fight skid.
All right,
make that 4. Make that 4.
Let's run through this, man. I'm trying to end this stream.
All right, so anyway, so you think Karol Rosa gets the dub?
Anybody's going to beat Kinzad.
All right, fifth fight. We're almost halfway through, Skatesman. Please give us time, please. We got Gregorio, the guy from the fucking Cyprus, that one country that one time, against Toshioma Kazama. The guy who got starched by Garrett Armfield.
He got starched by Garrett Armfield, so I'm gonna go anywhere else.
Yeah, maybe to Japan, where Kazama is, and beat his brains in. Gregorio is the choice. Then we got the main card with Yana Santos, the beloved wife of Thiago Santos, incredibly lovely couple, versus the track star, the Olympian, the triathlon, Chelsea Chandler, the greatest sprinter in the UFC. Who you got?
Yeah. Well, this isn't the Olympics, so since we're not running the 1600 meter, I'm gonna go anywhere but Chelsea Chandler.
Based pick, in all honesty. He's pulling a denial. He's thinking with his heart, not his head. Then we got Chris no offense. Chris Gutierrez against Quang Lei. Quang Bang.
Gutierrez all day.
Gutierrez, nice. That's a good choice. I picked Gutierrez.
Yeah, you see this pace I'm on right now? You see this pace?
Oh yeah, he's doing it. Yeah. You can learn a thing or two. Statesman. Learn a thing.
Yeah, this is good, Jason. I just know that he's looking a little grumpy. He's a little grumpy.
Arguing with the OnlyFans chick? Don't do that. No chill. Spend your time watching the Skate Tank MMA podcast instead.
Yeah, let's keep this wholesome, man. Or else make a video about her in 2 months.
There's nothing to argue with. The fight is already won.
Yeah, for sure. Well, he's already editing the video as we speak. Danny Barlow, left hand to God versus. I swear, it's literally.
Dude, okay, hold on.
Flag back to the UFC.
Nikolay Veretennikov. Perfect pronunciation.
It's Danny Barlow. Danny Barlow's bringing swag back to the UFC. He said it. I said it. We all said it.
Yeah.
Danny Barlow's putting him away. He can come in with 2 broken arms and he'll not get a knockout. He already did that.
Yeah, it cost
he did that in real life. He did that. You know, I know you think that's a joke. He broke both of his arms in his contenders fight and got a knockout.
What a fucking!
Did he break both of his arms or break one of his hands?
No, he broke both of his. He broke one of his arms, and like was it an arm? It was might have been both hands. Either way, got a knockout.
See, it's like that SpongeBob character. Every morning I break my arms, and every night I break my legs, and I scream in agony until the heart attack.
I break my opponent with my broken arms and broken legs. That's Danny Barlow right there. He's really bringing swag back. All right.
So we got finally the feature fight. The feature fight. We got Chepe Mariscal against Damon Jackson. The hairline's coming back, Dylan. The hairline's coming back, just like mine.
Oh, God, you know what's funny is I've been given a lot of picks that are like, oh, anybody but this person. Well, Damon Jackson is somewhere that I would do that normally, but Chepe Mariscal, he doesn't have it in him to get that win. I think Damon Jackson's at least good enough. I mean, I think I'm gonna look so fucking stupid when some guy with a cul-de-sac hairline, the 3-point jumper
Cul-de-sac hairline.
yeah, like the 3-point line as a hairline.
Yeah, well, it's never been the same since Dan Ige knocked the toupee off his head. You know, it's been a struggle.
No, Taporia is what ended him. Did you see him?
Was hair literally coming off of his fists?
Dude, he was in a pile of limbs. He looked like, you know, like when you get the cartoon character gets smoke and they're just eyeballs on top of like ash. That's what David Jackson looked like getting knocked out.
Well, I hope to see it again, man. He is a demon after all, so he belongs in hell. So Chepe Mariscal gets it done, and then we got the main event of the evening.
I said I took David Jackson to get it done, and I'm gonna look like an idiot when that pile of ash and eyeballs is what loses, and I picked.
No, I think Damon Jackson's a dog. I just think that he's got a little bit less left in him than Chepe Mariscal.
He does. That's the problem. It's like your pick. The fact that this is so high on the card is mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, and don't worry about looking like an idiot, Big Red, because you already do most of the time. So it's a natural.
100% of the time. That's how my intro was. Didn't you see technical difficulties?
Yeah.
Pretty much just to piss off Idaho.
So No Chill says that he's converting the OnlyFans girl to Christ. Well, shout out to you, man. That's a good way to go.
Well, make a video about it, Mr. Beast style, and then you'll start to make the move.
No, don't do anything. Don't follow in the footsteps of Mr. Beast. He's not looking too good these days.
No, that's why I made the joke.
All right.
No, but is he actually?
Yeah, he's a bastard.
No. That's not what I meant.
Faking his videos. It's not good.
I mean, is No Chill actually talking to that girl? I don't think so.
Oh,
right?
For sure. Dude, I guarantee we are going to see it in a few weeks. He's already uploading it as we speak.
No fucking.
All right, and you're picking Spivac in the main event?
100%.
Yeah. All right, well, there you have it.
Well, it's hilarious that before we went live, Dylan was trying to come on the stream, and then he comes on and he says he doesn't even watch MMA. I love it.
Yeah.
I watch as much as anybody.
Yeah. Well, he knows all the MMA.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I wanted to say, you guys, before we head out, we got a cheap plug, man. We want to make some of that cheddar. Wink, 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 if you know. And we got a Cash App.
Dude, you are just trying way too hard right now, dude. What is your problem?
That's the point. That's the point. Do it. I'm sending money to it. I'm sold.
Yeah. 5K USD if you can smash Meredith Brown. Big Red. Well, I don't think you'd want to do that because he'd get in the lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? It'd be pretty bad. But eventually, like, the Instagram messages would come out.
Is that the girl? That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
OnlyFans girl.
Sure. Yeah, and apparently a whole fist went through it. So I don't know how that's physically possible.
Whole fist.
Yeah, but that left hook is very miraculous.
Is that what she said? She said it's a whole fist.
Yes, she did.
No, not a whole
Yeah.
fist.
Yeah, it was like a human centipede, but with arms instead of the front. And
All right, well,
sexual.
all right, well, this stream is falling apart. We should probably end this. And I just wanted to say, Dylan is the only person that I know that is an actual self-admitted PFL fan.
The best in the business, right there. That's my city. All right, they're headquartered here. Did he really? Did she really get the fist? Yo, that real?
Yeah, according to her, yes. Well, you can ask
Well,
her.
I do hate this because this is not what I want the stream to be. This is more content for like a post show, just chilling out, cracking up, doing whatever.
Enough, Hank. Well, Hank, we've tortured him enough. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, Dylan is a certified PDF file, PFL file.
No, I said he's a PFL fan. He's the only person I know that's a self-admitted PFL.
Cue. That's my cue.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna do the outro. You have escaped the war zone for now. Brains, I'm coming for you, Jim.